Peace and power, Drop Nation. I hope everybody's feeling good and feeling fine and feeling hijack free. Dodging the hijack frequency. We got to keep dodging it, y'all. Got to keep working together. I just want to get into a couple comments and, let everybody know I really appreciate your support, man. Dealing with my 1 minute rant on this, our elder, the Horace Butler situation. I mean, all we can do is keep going. It is, it's shocking. It's shocking. I still was holding that 1% possibility that it wasn't him, that I was just getting trolled by some other crap. But the fact that the video was taken down the next day and, it has his email or Gmail and has, it was taken down specifically, it says by Horace Butler, by his publishing group, because he disagreed with our breakdown, because he disagreed with our conclusions, or questions that we had, or our critique. And under fair use, you can't do that. So we will keep fighting. And we're here for educational purposes. We're not monetizing. We've read, dozens and dozens of books. So, no author, none of these so-called hijack, none of these hijack authors, that we're getting the babies out has ever harassed us, personally, and, left paragraphs based on our critique of them, and then got our video deleted because we shared a couple chapters. And again, Horace Butler only writes like 4-page chapters. So we read literally probably like 8 pages, not just full out. We broke it down. We brought in maps. We did different things based on the research for educational purposes only. And you have our video taken down, the 2 hours of research. So you can't be for the people. You can't be for the people asking questions. You can't be for the people surfing the wave. When it comes to someone disagreeing or critiquing your information, why write a book if you're afraid of a critique, a peer review? You say that we should respect our elders, which means that what? We're from the same tribe? And if we're from the same tribe and you are our elder, then why would you stifle our work? Why would you remove it before the class has a chance to view it and take it in, to take the critique in? Because you think you discovered Atlantis here, and I say that Atlantis is here, and da-da-da-da, whatever the case is. Whatever the case is, it don't even matter about what what the thing is. Egypt is here. You want Atlantis to come out of Africa. Fine. You think Atlanteans, all this kind of stuff. Fine. Fine. I get it. Poseidon, the son of Zeus, comes out of that territory. But did they set up Atlantis in Africa first? Or was Atlantis set up here first? And if we're proving that Atlantis was set up here first, then stop saying that these Atlanteans were migrating from Africa. This is their indigenous turf. This is where they started. Now, we know they were hijacking our frequency here already, so we are the indigenous here. Prior to Egypt, prior to those hijacks, that's why those lands were sunk. That's why the man-made lands were sunk. But you say there are no sunken lands. Well, we disagree. So what? So what, man? I still respect you. You're still my elder, right? But why would you remove the information? Because of your ego. Why write a book and think that it's 100% pure water, that there can't be any discrepancy, or else you attack the information? Or a small little framework like this, we're over here minding our own business, and you jump in here, start creating dummy accounts and even trolling us, leaving comments, and then have our video removed. Well, love to all the family that are able to get to it. We're able to, create, a new system. So I'll leave this Dropbot links in here, and we're going to start doing this more often. And now that I know we can flow like this, until I can figure out how to get all these, megabytes loaded on our website. But, Dropbox is a good opportunity for us to make a transition. Love to the bro Antonio Daniels, man. And, I was able to load the video here on Dropbox. And right here, you can download it. All right. So now, Mr. Horace Butler, now people are owning this. Now they are downloading this. Now the stuff that you wanted to get booted off of YouTube, now those same people can come and download it. So the information you're hiding is now more accessible. Hoya, hoya. All praise existence. You dig? So I'll leave this link. Thank you, family, for your love. And I wanted to just, go through a couple comments and, show my appreciation for the family that's been surfing the wave and just very supportive from day one, that know that all we do is ask questions. We don't put ourselves in no box. We stand on our circle. We stand on our foundation. We know where to anchor. We know that we are immovable, that we're not spinning on a ball. We know we're immovable. We know our land is immovable and it's fixed and it's all revolving around you. It's all revolving around the seed of the Creator, the energy, the frequency. We know that we are this frequency. We know that 4 + 3 + 2 is 9. We know that when we double that, we get into higher octaves, which are higher heavens. We know that we are indigenous to the earth, not just America, of course not. We know that we are indigenous to the earth. So stop just trying to make us come out of Africa. You know we're indigenous to the earth. They want to tell you come from one place. You're indigenous to the entire earth. So that for the family that's indigenous to the Americas, let them be indigenous to the Americas. The family that's indigenous in Europe, let them be indigenous in Europe. Stop trying to make them come out of one place. That's the sicko version. Those are the lies your teacher taught you. You have to separate and stop spinning on a ball, Mr. Horace Butler. You look silly when you're spinning around at 1,100 miles per hour. You look silly to people that are standing still and firm and fixed and immovable. If you're indigenous to one part of the land, you're indigenous, meaning that your genes are connected to the earth there. So you're going to tell me that the family here ain't indigenous here, that they had to come from somewhere else? Or were they being protected here? And wherever they did migrate from, if that's the case, whoever migrated first is their indigenous land. It's their promised land, the people of the promise. So love to the family. Let's get to these comments. Love to the sister Jazz, 432 Hertz. This sister's so full of energy, man. I mean, I got to tell you, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you want to talk about, the... She's just amazing, just incredible spirit and energy, you know what I'm saying, just from the get-go, surfing the wave for real. Some people are, like they say they surfing the wave, and other people are truly surfing the wave, and when they are, it truly is no separation between me and them, you know what I mean, it's just automatic. So, love to the sister Jazz. She said, keep surfing the wave, family. If they can't stop, hey, they can't stop us. And family, please send some of that righteous energy our way. We have been rocking and rolling here in Reno, Nevada, due to the so-called earthquakes. We had two M5. I guess that's category 5, M5. I don't know earthquake talk, but 7s on the Richter, I think. So that's huge. 2 7s is huge. Early this morning, and the ground is still shaking every now and then with small earthquakes ranging 2 to 3.5. So we're not scared, but just a little shaky on the nerves. I feel you, my sister. Love and blessings. So, I said, just remain immovable. You know what I'm saying? You will remain. We will remain. And yeah, I know that shakes us all up. I mean, earthquakes are earthquakes, man. If you ain't out here, if you ain't ever been through an earthquake, then it will shake up your nerves, man. I felt one the other day. I'm always up late, and this makes me jump up right away. Head towards that, they always to go to the door, what I mean, a little, what I'm talking about, door entrance thing, doorway, go to the doorway, you know what I mean, so it makes you jump up, go to the nearest doorway, you know what I mean, but, as a father, you go right to your children, you know what I'm saying, so I know it gets shaky, I know things are getting shaken up right now, but just remain immovable, my family, and we all good. So love to the sister Pam Robinson. She said, wow, they took yours down. Talking about the Horace Butler video, but there are other people that read it on YouTube. I wonder if theirs is still up. Right. I mean, I guess Horace Butler's picky and choosy. I guess he's being choosy, sister. But like I told my bros and my family, I said, he did more for us by doing this than any of that drop that was probably in that video. Because if we weren't, You know what I'm saying? If we weren't cutting, if this wasn't cutting edge, trust me, those researchers would not be paying attention. Now you know that Horace Butler is in the classroom because he is an information, fiend. So if he don't surf the wave, he's going to be here just to try to get some info and then try to apply it his way to his next book or something. You know what I mean? So whatever, it's all good. Keep learning, my elder. I told my elder, I said, stay thirsty. Stay thirsty, my friend. Stay thirsty, my friend. You know what I mean? So, while they took yours down, so others are still up. She said, sorry I missed it, but it had to be good. Thank you for what you do. Love to you, Sister Pam. And yeah, I dropped that link on you, sister. So, what I'm saying, get that water. My man, Chris Duncan, he said, that was whack for that. If y'all join forces, it will be off the chain. And I said, yeah, but instead he prefers the chain gang. He wants to put us in captivity. He don't want us to have the drop. All right. Love to Sergio Amata, always dropping dope links. The family, I'm gonna mess it up, but Nagael, El Hanan. He said, hey, Hawk, I was trying to find the link to the Pangea map. You had shown the Horace Butler in this video that was removed. Do you still have that link? I mean, everybody's upset with you, Elder, for removing our information and disturbing our flow. But of course, we are not still water. We are moving water. So we keep it moving. And yeah, brother, I hit you with all those links, man. So let's go. Let go. My man, your man, Higher Mark. Prester John is in America right now and abandoned the throne in 1174 to be a monk. Nail in the coffin. Yeah, we got on that monk's mouth, man. And if y'all ain't subscribed and check out the brother High Mark, you're missing out on very, very, very pertinent drop at all times. It's always indigenous and it's always that, real deal energy wave, man. The brother's truly on that energy wave. Love to the family indigenous alarm clock. The drop was getting too hot. I said, cool water over here, my brother. Cool water. Granville Hopkins, just investment for the next generations. All right, love to you, brother. Horace Butler can't handle the truth, says the sister, Wilma Bates. Wilma Bates is upset with you, brother Horace Butler, for hiding our truth, because if it didn't matter, you won't try to take it down, man. It wouldn't matter to you. But you did. You took down 2 hours of pertinent research, but we got it back up on them. We got a new flow, Horace Butler, thanks to you. Carlos Aguilar, my bro, said, thanks for making me feel like a friend. You completely depicted what I was doing, chilling in the corner on my backyard, just soaking all this drive. How you? All right, bro. You know what I mean? And, like I said, some families truly surfing the wave, and this brother has always been surfing the wave with us. So love to the brother, Carlos Aguilar. My sister, the remnant, she said, saltier than the Dead Sea. Yeah, the brother's a little salty. Not you, Carlos Aguilar. We're talking about Horace Butler, and it's sad, man. It just is. I bought your book, man. I deserve to read it, right? I deserve to get the babies out. I paid for it. I deserve to critique it and peer review it. What? I don't have no letters after my name. I'm nobody. Well, apparently not. Apparently this nobody requires a lot of attention from you, Horace Butler. I mean, you had to call your legal team. YouTube said that you did a whole legal assault, a whole legal thing. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was, but it was some type of thing you did up for them. Like, dang, how much time did that take to take down my video? The video in the classroom, Horace Butler. Saltier than the Dead Sea. My sister, the remnant. Let's go. Daughter of Israel. She's at the Peru Jerusalem group on Facebook where Horace Butler kicked me and other Israelites out the group. They were pushing Ra as the creator. Forget them. They still think Christ is real and that Israelites are great. Yeah, man, I see. Maybe that's the agenda. I don't know. But love to you, sister. Again, incredible love and support from this sister at all times. Paco, my bro. Not much, but these links could help decoding the Voynich Manuscript. I got him up, my bro. I got him up. We're going to get it. Thank you, my brother. Hiya. Wow. I was going to go back and finished listening to it. I had 20 minutes left. That's okay. All is being revealed, and he can't stop the drop. Hiya. Yeah, sister. But you can finish it right here. Got the Dropbox up. All right. Indigenous alarm clock. Wow, glad I watched it yesterday. Thanks for the drop. I agree with your assessment. Now I have to reread my copy of When Rocks Cry Out. Hey, see, brother Horace Butler? We all bought your book, man. It's not just me. Drop Nation has supported you, man. How much have we big up you on this platform, man? How much do we support your book, bro? So if we disagree about Atlantis, or we disagree about the origin of a couple, whatever the case is, why would you have to throw a piss fit about it? Why would you have to remove the information? Who are you, man? Who sent you, man? Who sent you, Horace Butler? Horace Butthurt strikes again. Let's go. You stinking, Horace Butthurt. You stinking over here, Horace Butthurt. You stinking, man. You stinking, man. Tony Armstrong, this is why there is so much division among our people when all you are doing is educating people about who they are, but we now see what kind of person he is. Brother, it is redemption season. And, love to you, bro, for all you do and all the links and everything, bro. Real talk. Meech Shredda, love to the fam. He said, man, he a turd for that. And I just said, Horace Butthurt. You call him a turd, and I call him Butthurt. All right, bro, love to you, man. He said, the right path shows itself again. Horace is not beyond correction like any of us, of course. And that's why we just ask questions. We put together our theories. We get that drop. We separate it. We bring it back. We put it back under that microscope and heat it back up. That's a chemical process. Those are the so-called black sciences that we apply to the drop. So when we heat up Horace Butler, what does Horace Butler do? He gets butt hurt. And yes, he is a turd for that. My brother Meech. Love to the family Meech, man. Meech also hit me with this Assassin's Creed drop, man. I started watching it yesterday for the first time, man. And there are a lot of babies, especially when we tie in that Knights Templar. Man, see what y'all made me do? I'm just trying to read some comments. And the brother, But we're just talking about Clan Ross and Roos and our royal families and how they connect to the kings of Jerusalem. And then it says right here, this is from the writer of tripwatch.com. It shows that the Roos, R-U-S, which is Clan Ross, and that's how Russia gets its name, were part and parcel with the Franks in forming the Knights Templars. So that these Templars were kings of Jerusalem, and that's what they were hiding. So what did they hide in the money pit? And why haven't they told us that the Knights Templars were these guys? Now, when we go back into my bro's comment, okay. Assassin's Creed set partially in 1492, and that's a lot about the Knights Templars. So get that drop. Asiatic More, thanks King Drop for the download drop box. Not so salty now. I'm glad we able to bounce back, family. I'm glad we able to bounce back, man. Man, ain't no stopping us now. Hoya. Much love, bruh. Got upset for a moment. We all do. We all did, man. Horace Butler is full of that balonies. As well as we've supported this brother, we can also pull the support out from under him as well. I am really salty that he's done this. It's his choice, just as it's ours not to support him. The book has a lot of good information in it. It's funny how he didn't want it talked about. Why is this? And then he said, are you for real? He had it removed. I bet this book sales have skyrocketed because of Drop Nation. Horace Butler, the brother Asiatic Moore, is saying that your books have skyrocketed because of Drop Nation. Drop Nation ain't just in Inglewood. It ain't just in Chicago or Memphis or St. Louis or Milwaukee. Man, the Drop Nation is the water that waters the earth. It is those that are waking up without a book. You don't need a book to tune up your frequency. You just have to be. Knowing your creator is real and around you and exists around you should activate you to who you are and who you're not. Then you stop playing the games, man. No more play. Love to Asiatic more. Dub Styles. Blessings. I'll try that now. Dub Styles, man. I don't know if I got it up right now. Dub Styles, man. Oh, man, how can I get it up? Right quick. Oh, I just saved it. Hold up. Dub Styles just hit us with something, man. This is what we do. And that's why I appreciate all the family here. And that's why I'm, going through all these comments, because I want you to know that I do read it. And sometimes, man, y'all be hitting me with these links, man. I'm just trying to read through comments, but even when we do comments, we still drop that drop, though. Oh, man. Is this going to give me the full thing? Or is it going to play me? Hey. Is going to play me? All right. Hold up. I'll do it like this. And again, thank you all y'all, man, for, taking that extra step, man, and emailing me, hit me up, man. Music at 432 to drop, or Drop Nation at 432 to drop. But, man, when you hit me up, man, at music or Drop Nation, man, at 432todrop.com, I do my best to get back to the fam. Ace's at. And, great bro, hope you, don't mind me. I'm not even going to, I think it's cool. Let's see. I'm saying? The brother said, what's good, brother? My name, I'm saying? All right. Yeah, my name is Kyle. You might recognize me better as Dub Styles, though. Been studying on your videos for a grip now. Definitely digging what you do. I can't thank you enough for your contribution to truth. I definitely appreciate you reading everything. I hope you appreciate me reading this, bro. Sharing it with the classroom. Helps me keep up while I work. As far as your Genghis Khan drop, I have a pic I've been sitting on for years that I think you need to see. It has an unfathomable gravity to it. Let me know what you think, fam. All right, here we go. The fam wants us to know what we think about this drop. All right, so this is Genghis Khan. Any questions? What's the first thing you notice? All right, and you see, a bunch of situations happening down here, right? Who are these people? So let's get to it. Let's get to the caption. So apparently, perhaps they're calling this Prince Michael, I don't know. But let's go. This is in 1883, a Prince Michael of Chernigov, a Russian prince. So he must be a new Rus or Russian. If this is the 1800s, he's not representing the original Rus and Russians, right? This is Clan Ross Rus, right? This is the original. So he ain't representing that, I don't think. Where we at? All right. So he's a prince. Prince Michael was passed between fires in accordance with ancient Turco-Mongol tradition. So who are these people? Turco-Mongols. Mongols. Remember how we got Prester John being the carrier of the Mongol Empire, and how they're hiding these Israelites under the term Mongol? And now you see the Turk-Mongol. The Turk-Mongol. The Turks. All right. So they passed through the fire, and according to ancient Turk-Mongol or Turk tradition, so these Turks do the passing through the fire. Batu Khan stabbed him to death for his refusal to do obeisance to Genghis Khan's shrine, or basically bow down to it. Right? So this guy Batu Khan stabbed Prince Michael to death for refusing to bow down to Genghis Khan's shrine in the pagan ritual. Now get this, people, listen up. Note that Genghis Khan is depicted as a black man. Note that Genghis Khan is depicted as a black man. Love to the family, Kyle. Love to the family, Dub Styles. Body bag, Daniel. Body bag. Love you for this, bro. You've been sitting on it, man. You gave it to us at the right time, man. Because, we just read how Genghis Khan is the nephew of Prester John. Some call him the foster son, that he was taken into the family. That they had, that they were, blood related, or that Genghis Khan, was hijacked in. But now when you see this black Genghis Khan, then you see that maybe he was the nephew of Prester John. Remember, we're only talking about Prester John. King David. Lebna Dango Duit, right? Lebna Dango David. So, yeah, is it possible that that's his nephew? Of course. Now you see it's a family affair, right? That all the images they've given you were hijacks, and it is a family affair. All right. So again, this Prince Michael was passed between fires, and according to ancient Turk Mongol tradition, Batu Khan stabbed him to death for refusal to do obeisance to Genghis Khan's shrine in the pagan ritual of the Turks. Note that Genghis Khan is depicted as a black man, painting by Russian painter V.S. Smirnov, 1883. The Black Genghis Khan. And now you see this guy stabbing him to death, so he's a newer version of the Khans. He's a new Khan, a Turk Khan. He's a Turk Khan. So if he's a Turk, and he's a Turk Khan, then would he be a mixture of this and this? This Asiatic with this equals that? I don't know. But yo, love to the fam, bam. My family, your family. Love to the family, Kyle, for this. You know what I'm saying? He said this is a great contribution to truth. Or, he appreciates our contribution to truth. But brother, you just gave us a wonderful contribution to truth. True water, true indeed. And much love to you, what I'm saying, always for that. Isaac Ford, the bro. He said, LOL, when you're getting trolled by famous authors, you made it. Nigga, we made it. Isaac Ford, love to you, bro. Yeah, man, He said sometimes the oppressed becomes the oppressor. Great point. Because again, Horace Butler always complains about being censored. I gathered all this information, and the people kept trying to censor me and censor. Oh, this is hidden. They don't want me to tell you this. All this censorship, bro. Elder, and then you censor us. For someone who hates censorship, for somebody who has been censored, Horace sure does censor the people. Oh, you say something that he doesn't like, he has your videos taken down. He attacks you legally for sharing his book because he doesn't agree with you, and he censors you. But he is the one that got censored. So we just tell this brother, like grandma used to always say, you can't take the heat, get your ass out the kitchen, especially when it's a stanky ass, especially when your Horace butthurt. Stanky ass. All right, man, come on. All right, Shaqua Tonya, she gave a lot of love, what I'm saying? She needed that link, and she got it. Love to the sister, Shaqua Tonya. Washita Proper, he said, you were cracking his head, fam. Couldn't take it. Henry Louis Gates had Ab the Legend video removed. Also too much truth for them. Keep doing what you're doing. We all got to keep doing what we're doing, man. So love you. Love to the fam Ab. Love to all y'all, man. Love to everybody surfing all parts of the way, man. Real talk. Carlos Aguilar, he said, wow, my class was interrupted. This is what Horace Butthurt did. While my class has been interrupted, I was in the middle of learning. It's a shame. I hope you can post another one. This is just sad. And more than just clowning, man, we are just really sad. You know what I'm saying? We're astonished that our elder would, come over here like this and remove our videos because we disagree or have a different stance, or because we're peer reviewing as peers, as Drop Nation, and it's not in line with his research, as if he had to have all the drop when he had it, and that's forever. His drop is forever. It cannot be critiqued. It cannot be peer reviewed. So anyway, what I mean? We're going to be all right. I see that book is a good book, brother. I seen your video before they took it down. Love family, man, all the time. I see Petra Throp. Loving this. I wonder how this ties into what the Most High speaks on needing us to be the salt of the earth. She went into 2 Chronicles 13:5. Ought ye not to know that the God of Israel gave the kingdom let me get that back. Ought ye not to know that the God of Israel gave the kingdom over Israel to David forever, even to him and to his sons by a covenant of salt. They are called to be the savor, salt, the savor or the flavor of men. The salts in former days were mixtures of chlorides of sodium, magnesium, and potassium. Come on, sister. If the salt loses its savor, how can it be made salty again? As I was listening to this video, this verse made its way into my spirit, which, by the way, is an admonition to keep oneself separate, avoiding admixtures, if you will. Wow. Y'all dig on it and send some love to Petra Throp, because, enough said. That's it. Body bag. All right, Francisco Perez, I was going to do a video on Rocks Cry Out the week before this video. Too much, man. Keep doing it. Make him take it all down. Make Horace Butler work for this. Everybody should just start dropping Horace Butler and make him work for this. All right? Don't stop until you get at least one copyright strike. If you ain't got one copyright strike, you ain't doing your job, man. All right? Love to Brother Francisco out in DAD. He just said, wow, bang. Done. We get it. He get it. I get it. Meta Simplocos. Love to you, fam. Always supportive. Always loving sister there. She just said, don't stop. And we said we keep the truth flowing. We ain't gonna stop. Winifred Holcomb said, wow, bro, you serious? I didn't even get a chance to watch it yet. I was actually on the way to watch it before I seen this. Wow. So we got that link up again, the Dropbox. And you see how many people are interested in your book, Elder. But damn. Damn. So, yeah, we got to it, man. And Al Rahim, I'm going to get back to you, bro. You gave me some great drop there. Jerome Parker, much love to you, family. You know what I'm saying? Breaking it down, the Constitutional Republic, 1 through 15th Amendment prior to 1871 is the Holy Covenant. We need to get to it. But they're just talking about that prisoner of war drop. So, English Jonah out in the UK, thank you. Always surfing away from day one. Daughter of Zion, thanks for sharing. This is so tragic. My husband and I reject the New Testament completely. Makes a lot of sense, though. They discovered Egyptian stuff in the Grand Canyon. Arthur Scott, pressure bust pipes or makes diamonds. The choice is ours. Hiya. On that alchemy. Sophia Harris is doing nothing but, dropping major water on us. Will you check this book out when you get time? Absolutely, my sister. She dropped it on this broken link here that our video was removed by Horace Butler on. But we definitely got your drop here, sister. And thank you so much for the flow. Samiki Trinia, much love. Check out the tablets for Illinois, Michigan, Mexico. Tron Brown, hey, thanks for the drop. My brother, love watching the channel. If you get a chance, Google Yucatan Parque Temático. When y'all look this up, this Yucatan Parque Temático, the images will amaze you. I think it'll go good with this drop. So you'll see like this ancient park that's been set up as like a tourist attraction, but they're supposed to be having, a lot of these copper color indigenous people there. And again, Chris Duncan always, making it happen. He said, LOL, if that was Horace Butler, he throwing bullets. Come, Elder, you part of the legacy. Don't make me punt you. LOL, that was funny. King Drop building his legacy. You revealing too much. Horace Butthurt. LOL. Horace Butthurt, man. But yeah, man. So yeah, it was. I held it out too. I said, if it was him, but now we know it was, and damn, really whores but her. Bess Maringa, Queen Charlotte of England, was black and was sent to live in North Carolina. Man, we got some great drop. Alan Thompson, always drop and drop. Shaquantonia, always drop and drop. So, man, you see what we dealing here. You see this is Drop Nation. You see we making it happen. El Rahim says, Shalom, brother. Of course, this has its hijacks as well, but this is something that you might help our people in awakening their gifts as well. All praise to our spiritual creator. Hiya. So, man, we got some more drop there. So, a lot of this drop that's being given to you has been given, to you from Drop Nation, from your fellow, fan bam, surfing that wave with you. So, we enjoy this being a framework, to come together and assemble and put all this in one place and get to it as fast and as smooth as we all can, man. So love to the family, man. Let's just go fall back for a couple minutes on this megalithic mountaintop citadel of Samapata in the Bolivian jungle. What does it mean? This is some secret drop right here. We're going to get into that Voynich manuscript a little bit and keep surfing the wave. I love all y'all. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for supporting Drop Nation. GoFundMe. Thank you for all the support on the PayPal and everything else y'all doing. I love y'all. Let's keep it rocking.
Today I'm taking you on a journey into the jungles of Bolivia. This place you will have never heard of, I don't think. It's kind of time-consuming to get there, but well worth it. It's a huge outcrop of stone in the middle of the high jungle, located at an altitude of about 6,000 feet. The journey begins in La Paz, Bolivia, where you fly from 13,000 feet down to 2,000 feet, and then you go by land into the high jungle, which takes about 3.5 hours. The site is called Samaipata, and it's located in the little town that's also called Samaipata. It's an Inca term which means the high resting place. And here is a scale model of what it looks like. Very enigmatic, very strange, and very fascinating. It's located about 20 minutes drive outside of the little town, as I said, called Samaipata. Well, after a 1-hour flight from La Paz to Santa Cruz, and then 3.5 hours driving up through the jungle, we are now at Samaipata. So the Inca found this place about the year 1400. They did not carve the whole thing. They made constructions here, but what they discovered was that this entire mountaintop had been carved probably thousands of years prior to their existence. The Inca aspect is here. That wall you see is Inca construction. These walls here are Inca construction. But the carving itself, just based on the weathering alone, tells us that it's much, much older. So you see these step-like or bench-like features. Look at the amount of weathering involved. And here you have the Inca work. Once again, we see Inca constructions, and then all of these odd carved niches in the redstone bedrock itself. So it was a very common thing or theme of the Inca to find an ancient site like this that predated them probably by thousands of years, and then adopt the site and build a ceremonial center around it or in the vicinity. This is what we see at such places as Machu Picchu, because the core of Machu Picchu is megalithic, and also Ollantaytambo, Sacsayhuaman, Kenko, etc. So the Inca clearly revered whoever these ancient megalithic builders or people were, and decided to build their own structures nearby, and often a wall would embrace an older structure. Again, very commonly seen in the city and around the city of Cuzco in Peru. So many archaeologists agree that this stonework here was not the work of the Inca. They believe that it was a much older Amazonian tribe, a Stone Age tribe, who came and did this work. But A, that sounds ridiculous to me, and B, why? Why would a primitive tribe from the Amazon who only had Stone Age tools go to the effort of carving all of these niches, etc.? If you want to see something similar in this...
Why? Maybe they weren't primitive with just Stone Age tools, fool. Maybe they was high tech. Maybe it doesn't get better as it goes on. Maybe it was better then. Maybe you did not evolve. Maybe you devolved, man. Maybe mountains were trees, man. Maybe mountains were trees. All right, man. I'm going to take that. We're going to go right into it. Keep checking out the drive, surf the wave, man. If you ain't, if you need the evidence, it's right here. This video is no longer available due to a copyright claim by Horace Butler. Horace Butler. His Gmail's right there. Video taken down, manually detected by Horace Butler. So the evidence is there. We're going to get back into our survival drive, but it's all here for you. You know what I mean? The fam Paco sent this Solomon Seal plant situation. All right? The Solomon Seal plant situation. So I want to get some of this. Actually, I'm going to get, we might go into this, let's go into this Terence McKenna Voynich manuscript first. Then we'll get into that a little bit on the dismount. And we will drop on this. The man, my man Jay Stu and Isaac Ford was talking about this drop. So I don't know. I mean, clearly, it's definitely something. Is it 100% happening? Something on New Year's? Of course. The chances are slim. But it's definitely a lot of babies, you know what I'm saying, in that drop. Get on that Prester John 18, man. We're going to come very fast with 19 and 20. All right, so, if you ain't caught up, I know, just take your time. Take your time. It's there for you. This ain't like HBO special, you know what I'm saying? All the drop is there for you. All that survival drop. My man Francisco's keeping it wavy. He's keeping it wavy, baby. Dropping on that holy tree, surfing the wave, literally. And all the drop is here, man. You can find Drop Nation's names. All their drop is there, you know what I'm saying? If you want survival drop, just go to it. If you want health drop, just go to it, all right? If you want legal drop, go to it. Live and life and money drop, and you know what I'm saying? We try to just keep the categories flowing, keep them all flowing, all right? So, without further, like I said, we're going to get back into the Voynich manuscript. All we're talking about is Jadaran, Raja Hiraja, but we're talking about the Voynich manuscript. Jadaran was a legendary, what they're calling Jewish Christian king, which is just an Israelite king, King David, emperor, called Prester John, called Prester John, the priest king, Israelite king, priest king, and he abdicated the throne in 1178 in favor of his younger brother so he could become a Christian. They're calling monk, but of course this Israelite king was not a Christian. He was what they called an Nestorian Christian. He was famous for his beautiful gardens. All right, so he left to become a monk. He was famous for the gardens. Monk just means that you're in solitude or you're separating from people, right? So he got more separate, all right, more alchemy. He was famous for the beautiful gardens and wrote a book on plants in the Hebreo-Georgian Ossetian language of his family. We got into that Georgia, that Rus. We got into that Rus, that Russia, that Georgia, that Ross, right? So you see how we're connecting the Rus with the Georgia back to this Prester John, priest king, in this Hebreo-Georgian Ossetian language of his family. The book is today called the Voynich Manuscript. They're going to say it's old. Maybe it was written by this person. Maybe it was written by that, but, you know, Prester John is all over this thing, especially when we deal with these plants and these botanicals, right? And we got a lot of that drop, who was it here? Yeah. You know, man, they were just showing some of these plants, some of this plant work for you. And we said, well, what does it mean? So this stuff has never been deciphered. I mean, look at it, y'all. Can you decipher it? Because they had their major code breakers. This is now sitting in Yale University. So Yale University has this manuscript right now. It is indecipherable. They have all their code breakers. People have gotten insane to figure it out. There are things that people have never seen. And it's a lot of plants and botanicals. And what they're calling this language here is what do they say? A Hebreo-Georgian Ossetian language, but something they can't figure out, man. They think it's some deep code. But if it is a code, then who is it code for? If it is a code, then it's code for you. It's for you to figure out. It's left for the remnant. So something in us should be waking up to start connecting this, I do believe, all right? So let's get into this, where I want to go. All right. So yeah, we're just talking about Prester John, getting this Voynich manuscript. So when we get this from Terence McKenna, just remember who we're talking about. We're talking about Prester John's manuscript, King David's manuscript. So let's surf the wave and just say it that way so we can stop dancing around this stuff. This is, we did 18 parts, an 18-part series so far, about 2 hours apiece, over 36 hours of recon, 36 hours of reading books, and none of them authors have removed our video. Only when we get into Rocks Cry Out does the video get removed by the author. But 36 hours of reading and not one author has said anything. So, those seem to be the more secure authors that even if people peer review or critique their work, they don't go freaking crazy and get butthurt. But some people are not built like that. They can't handle that pressure. El Prester John can, the priest king can, King David can, right? King David can. So yeah, when we get into this Voynich manuscript, even though they put this image up, this is their image, and look behind it, it says Johannes. Johannes, which is what? John, which is what? El Prester Juan, John. Again, he was called Wang, W-A-N-G, Wang Khan, Wang Khan. All right, and we got that drop from the bro Cal, Dub Styles, with the Black Genghis Khan. He's also Khan, and that's the foster father or blood uncle of that Black Genghis Khan. And now we got this El Prester Juan, all up in your face. And now they want to give you this image, but behind them, they're going to say John. All right, so let's get it. And let's see what this Terence McKenna has to say on King David's manuscript.
Greetings. This is Foston Bray for Sound Photosynthesis. Brian Wallace is recording, and today we have the good fortune to talk with Terence McKenna. He has chosen a subject that has been interesting to him for quite a while, and the title of this tape is The Voynich Manuscript.
What I'd like to talk about today, and what's brought me to the edge of my chair recently, is the Voynich Manuscript, which is something that, though I had read in occultism fairly deeply and in alchemical literature and that kind of thing, I had never heard of this until about a year and a half ago. And a friend of mine, Ralph Abraham, who's a mathematician at Santa Cruz, began pushing this at me, mentioning this encoded manuscript that people were interested in trying to figure out what it said. And since I had never heard of it, I dismissed it. I assumed that he was misinformed, or that if this thing existed, I surely would have heard of it. But eventually I tracked down the references that he gave me, and I discovered a very curious cul-de-sac in the history of ideas. First of all, it is a manuscript. That means it's written in longhand. It's not a printed book. Only one copy is known to exist. It's at the Beneke Rare Book Room at Yale, and it was deposited there by the estate of Mr. Alfred Voynich when his wife died. The Voynich manuscript, here are the known facts. It first appears in 1586 at the court of Rudolph II of Bohemia, which, if you know that court in that period, this was the mad Rudolph of Bohemia, this guy who was surrounded by astrologers, alchemists, cryptographers, all the intellectual foment of occult Protestant Europe was centered at this court. And into this situation comes an unknown person, a courier, who sells this manuscript to Rudolph for the equivalent of $14,000, 300 gold ducats, which is an enormous amount of money to pay for something like this. And it was in his possession. It's encoded. It is not written in any known alphabet. It is written in what scholars call Voynich script, of which this manuscript is the only known example in existence. And part of the problem of the Voynich manuscript has to do with locating instances of Voynich script somewhere else.
So Voynich script, so again, just to recap, they're calling it a Voynich script, and this particular researcher here says that this priest king Prester John was famous for his beautiful gardens and wrote a book on plants in the Hebreo-Georgian Ossetian language. So they're calling that same Voynich a Hebreo-Georgian Rus, Ossetian, and that's another, this lineage, Georgian, connection, language, all right? And then that reminded me of this pentexture. Let's see if we can get it. Now, we heard it called Voynich. We heard it called Hebreo-Georgian. All right. Let me get this a little bigger for you. Now, it's a separate source. This book is called The Cipher of the Monks. Now, didn't they just say right here that Jadaron was the legendary Jewish Christian king, Israelite king, emperor called Prester John and he abdicated, he abandoned or left his throne in 1178 in favor of his younger brother so that he could become a Christian hermit monk. Hermit Christian. Of course, he wouldn't call himself a hermit or a Christian or a monk, but a priest. He was a priest king. He left to be a priest, whatever the situation was that they're saying. So monk. We got the monk's mound, remember? Love to teach me to be priestly. And now we take that same monk over here into a book called The Ciphers of the Monks, a forgotten number notion on the middle of the Middle Ages by David A. King. And specifically, we're going to get into the Pentecosture. All right. So this says the scattered at the intervals through the text of Mantevil's travels. Mantevel. Remember that we got before the travels of, where are we at? Right here. These are the travels of John Mandeville. The travels of Sir John Mandeville. So we're in this. So all the stuff we're pulling out now, because this is part 19, we gotten so much drop. Like I said, we've gone through dozens of books getting the babies out. So now when we hear these names, they pop right up. Scattered at intervals through the text of Mandeville's travels are a number of enigmatic alphabets, one for each of the more important countries which he describes. They consist normally of the forms of letters, their names and key letters, showing to which letter of the modern European alphabet each form corresponds. They range from genuine Greek, listen up, they range from genuinely Greek through unrecognizably corrupt Egyptian, Hebrew, remember they called it a Hebreo-Georgian Ossetian, Voynich, right? Hebrew, Saracen, we got our Saracen, Persian, Chaldean, Tartar, remember the Tartarian, Rus, Tartar Rus, R-U-S-S, Tartar Rus. Andros, the house of Rus. Remember, Rus is Russia. Rus were part and parcel with Franks in forming the Knights Templar. So Prester John had everything to do with the Knights Templar. Cleveland, Rus, land of Rus, princes of Rus, which is Ross. Clan Ross are the Picts, and Rus is Russia. Wow. Monks, huh? So this Hebrew, Saracen, Tartar Rus, Cathayan, to an incredible production called Pentecosture. And they're calling that the language of Prester John's empire. You get a lot of dead ends when you try to research Pentecosture because it's just not spoken of very often. So Pentecosture, that lets us know we're in the cutting edge of things. So we're seeing this language of this manuscript, this Voynich manuscript called Pentecosture. We see it called Hebreo-Georgian Ossetian. And then over here, they're just calling it straight up Voynich. It's just Voynich, right? So let's go.
It's over 275 pages long.
King David.
It has over 150 color illustrations of plants in one category, what appear to be astrological diagrams in another category, and then a completely unclassifiable set of images which seem to be basically little naked ladies bathing in strange fountains or perhaps dissected flowers, or it isn't clear what it is. The emperor would not have paid so much money for it if he hadn't been convinced that there was something going on with it. He had cryptographers at his court who were very adept at decoding manuscripts. None of them were ever able to make any progress with it. when his court collapsed in the incident of the Winter King and Queen of 1619, the manuscript passed to his botanist, a man named Marcy, and at his death it passed to an unknown party who owned it for 20 years. And the next place where it's picked up is in the library of Athanasius Kircher, who was one of the great polymaths of the 17th century, and a man who himself worked on artificial languages and synthetic languages. And letters exist of his inquiring after this manuscript, and eventually it came into his possession, but there's no mention of it in any of his known work on artificial languages. At around 1635, he decided to join the Jesuit order and gave all his books to a Jesuit college south of Rome, where this book apparently sat on the shelf for the next, 230 years, until 1906, when Mr. Alfred Voynich bought the entire library, a rare book dealer, shipped it back to Brooklyn, and in going through this stuff, came upon this manuscript. Now, what's so great about a book which nobody can read? Well, first of all, it's very unusual books which no one can read. Codes, immensely powerful methods exist for breaking codes, because this is a matter of military intelligence and defense concerns, and very sophisticated computer techniques exist to analyze any supposed piece of code and extract meaning from it, determine whether it is in fact encoded language or not, whether you can tell what it says or not. And the Voynich manuscript has become a kind of conundrum of the intelligence community. Retired intelligence officers take it on and attempt to crack it. In fact, one of the best books written about the Voynich manuscript is called The Voynich Manuscript, An Elegant Enigma by Mary de Imperio, and it is only available from the National Security Agency, Central Security Office, Fort Meade, Maryland. This is what your tax dollars are being spent for. It's to decode this 400-year-old manuscript. Okay, Voynich script. The most sophisticated computer analysis shows that the manuscript definitely is a language. There is meaning. The occurrence of prefixes and suffixes, certain internal rules of grammar have been identified, but the meaning has eluded all comers. And several people, if there were more time, we could go into people whose whole careers have rested on their supposed decoding of it. A man named William Newbery in the 1920s claimed a complete decipherment, and it was later exposed to be a sincere but misguided mental derangement had contributed to his belief that he had decoded. Other people have made attempts, but all of them, none are convincing. And so this is where the matter rests. One edition of this manuscript exists. It's never been decoded. My idea about it is that to understand the Voynich manuscript, you have to understand the career of John Dee, who was the greatest magus of the Elizabethan age, the court astrologer of Elizabeth I of England, the man who had he had the largest library in England. Elizabeth and Sir Walter Raleigh and Sir William Sidney visited him to see his collection of books. He wrote on the elements of Euclid. He wrote books on navigation and astronomy, but he also was an occultist and into secret codes. He was also an intelligence agent. He had been at the court of Rudolf the year before the sale is alleged to have taken place, he and his friend Edward Kelly, and they had bruited it about that Roger Bacon, the 13th century English monk, was the greatest alchemist of all time, and they had really made a flap about Bacon in Prague at the court of Rudolf. Then a series of alchemical experiments where they had promised the emperor to make gold and had failed caused them to be exiled to Treblona. So they were in Treblona when this alleged sale of this manuscript took place in Prague. Now, all occult codes in Europe are based, or at that time were based, on the work of one man, the Bishop of Johannes Trithemius of Sponheim, who wrote a book called the Stenographica, which was published in 1535. And in it he explained numerous methods drawn from Roman sources and his own imagination for composing codes and encrypting messages. And all of the occult codes which follow are based on this. Dee hand-copied a manuscript of the Stenographica when he encountered it in Paris. He was involved with a series of angel contacts where he elaborated a language called Enochian, which, like Voynich, is not written in characters of the English alphabet, but has a peculiar set of characters unique to itself. Over 3,000 words have been defined in Enochian, first through Dee's spirit contacts, and later the Golden Dawn took it up and further expanded it. But in Dee's diaries, which are deposited in the British Museum, there are 93 pages of encrypted material, which are columns of numbers. And I believe that to eliminate the possibility that Dee was the author of the Voynich manuscript, the encoding methods of this material in his diary need to be computer analyzed and then compared to the Voynich material. The other possibility, which still involves Dee, is this person I mentioned, Edward Kelly, his companion of many years. Kelly's entree, Kelly was a man of the lower classes, a much younger man, a scoundrel by all accounts. And his entree to Dee was, he came to him with a book which was in code, which he had claimed to have found in a crypt of a looted Catholic monastery in Wales. This was during the period just after Henry VIII's break with Rome. And he called this book the Gospel of St. Dunstable. And Dee worked on the decoding of it, but we lose sight of that book, and no known copy of it, exists so far as we know. But Arthur Dee, John Dee's son, in his diary, talks about how in the period before Dee and Kelly went to Europe, his father spent a great deal of time studying a book which was covered all over with hieroglyphics. And I believe one of two things. I mean, this is what seems reasonable to me, that either Dee and Kelly ponied up a phony manuscript which they sold into the court of Root, because they were poor, there's no question about it. I mean, these guys had come to the end of their ropes. I believe only John Dee is the only man who could have produced the Voynich manuscript if it's contemporaneous with him. Either that, or there is actually some truth to this strange story about Kelly bringing a book to Dee that he had found in Wales. And in that case, Welch and computer analysis of Welch and looking at Welch as the possible basic text of the Voynich manuscript should be done, and this has never been done. So I'm saying a further advance in Voynich studies logically demands an analysis of the codes in John Dee's diaries in a true and faithful relation, and analysis of Welch in relationship to the known internal grammar of the Voynich manuscript. And there are other angles on it. Let me think.
What would you like to do with it?
Well, I would like to know what it says. At first, it sounds very mysterious, and you actually reach out toward the idea that the reason the Voynich manuscript can't be read is because it is not in code at all. It simply is in a non-human language. It's like an object from another dimension, which just, here it is. It cannot be decoded because the bridge is too great. But another possible problem is perhaps modern people, modern cryptographers who deal with codes are overconfident of their ability to break any code. Perhaps there is just some weird, quirky way in which this code is composed that it would forever elude your effort to decoding. I mean, for instance, what if somewhere there exists a set of grids which, if laid over the pages in a certain way, caused the part of the Voynich script which could then be subjected to normal methods of decoding and would quickly reveal its grammar. Yeah.
What does it look like?
What does the Voynich manuscript look like? It's a small book, 10 by 7 inches and probably about 2.5 inches thick. These watercolor drawings are extraordinarily peculiar. I mean, especially for that period, because all herbals, of which there were only about 50 or so in existence at that time, were drew from a common pool of imagery, which went back to the herbals of Dioscorides and that kind of thing. There was a very limited pool of images in the European mind at this point in time, and yet the Voynich manuscript is utterly unique.
It's unique because Europe didn't know about this stuff. And you're going to keep seeing this tie back into America, back into North America, South America, and what they're calling Eden here, the Orinoco River in South America. Let's keep going.
Completely peculiar. And the
what
way...
are the ingredients of the inks in them?
Well, none of this has been looked at and should be looked at. This is another thing. A chemical attack on the manuscript itself should be mounted. See, Newbery, the guy who advanced a decipherment in the 20s, he believed, because a letter accompanied it that said it was a Bacon manuscript, a Roger Bacon. And this also points at Dee, because Dee was under the patronage of the Earl of Northumberland, and he looted a number of monasteries where there were large Baconian libraries, and in fact Dee had 53 Baconian manuscripts in his possession, catalogued in his library at Mortlake. Only 41 of those texts are known to exist in any form at all today. His library was burned while he was in Europe. It was burned by a mob incited against this wizard, and
more burned books, buried books, or whatever the Baconian, documents are, whatever the case is. We saw that before when we were looking into, and again, love to the family. I mean, I'm just sharing links that the family has shared with us, to get the drop out of this Bacon. Yeah, 8 years later, Mr. Cross also attempted to sell it for an even larger amount of money, but it was totally unsuccessful, so he donated it to Yale. Again, this is in Yale University, who suspects it might have been written by British Franciscan cleric Roger Bacon, who lived 1214 to 1294. Bacon had an interest in alchemy and was at one time imprisoned by the church. Not a great deal is known about the early history of manuscript, but it does appear to have been brought by the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, Rudolf II, for the sum of 6,000 or 600 ducats. ducats. But yeah, brought to Europe, I was referring to right here, back to Europe. So it says the identification of several of the plants as New World specimens. So again, this is, like I said, coming back to America, baby, coming back to America. The identification of several of the plants as New World, right? specimens brought back to Europe by Columbus. I mean, that's it right there. So it was brought back to Europe, or these New World specimens, as far as the plants are concerned, were brought back to Europe by Columbus. And they're saying, well, because they were brought back to Europe, because they were brought to Europe by Columbus, it couldn't be written before 1493. All right, that doesn't make sense to us, because that's saying that it originated in Europe, because they were thinking Prester John was over there in Ethiopia that way, or those kingdoms, but they were just being ruled under the kingdom of King David. So it didn't have to be written before 1493 for us, because we know that it is a New World specimen. So it's coming from here, and they don't know shit about this place, and they can't tell you who you are, and they can't tell you who you're not. Let's get a little bit more. You see how this is not play. Two real serious scholars and researchers out there, right? Let's go.
So so Newbury believed then that it was a Baconian manuscript.
Boy, bacon gets in there everywhere.
But when you look at it, it's obviously 16th century. Everything about it marks it. And Bacon, of course, was 13th century. So it's clearly...
So he's just saying it's not Bacon, because it comes from a later time. He's not even connecting it, even though he had that Johannes in the back. At least right here in this dialogue, he's not connecting it with a 12th century priest king, right? So just because he's claiming that it was written in the 16th century doesn't mean that it wasn't written, in the 12th century. Again, Jadaron, Prester John, left his throne, abdicated his throne, 1178, the 12th century. He was famous for his beautiful gardens and wrote a book on plants in the Hebreo-Georgian Akkadian language of his family. The book today is called the Voynich Manuscript. So you can't say, oh, well, it's not Baconian because it was written in the 16th century. No, it's not Baconian because it's written by the priest king, King David, not some Bacon. But Bacon probably got that manuscript from him. He probably got his hands on it and added it to his collection. And they're claiming, because it was in his collection, he wrote it as he wrote all. Bacon probably didn't write none of those manuscripts at all. Just collected them, right? See how they're trying to hijack this, man.
There are many other angles. I mean, like D is implicated in the Rosicrucian conspiracy. He was definitely involved at the very beginning. His book, The Hieroglyphic Monads, served as a model for the two primary Rosicrucian documents, the Fama and the Confessio, which were released secretly in the early 17th century. And it all was coming from Central Europe, from Bohemia and Prague, the court of Frederick the Elector Palatine of Bohemia, and this guy Rudolph II of Bohemia. This court, these were the alchemical courts, these were where the alchemical presses were operating, and this Protestant alchemical enlightenment was taking place, that the coming of the 30 Years' War and the collapse of the Winter King and Queen obliterated this hope. This was a very complicated moment in European history.
Collapse of the Winter King and Queen?
Yes, this was an incident. You see, Frederick the Elector Palatine of Bohemia, who was the patron of all these alchemical presses and alchemists, wedded the daughter of James I of England, whose name was Elizabeth. And this was around 1615, and he thought that by wedding the daughter of the King of England, he was getting...
Now notice this afro, and even in this picture, she looks like she's more like an albino, you know what I'm saying? But we already know about James and King James and the melanated family there already. So when we get those real images that are not whitewashed, I guarantee the more melanin starts coming out.
The nod from the King of England to go forward with this Protestant alchemical revolt. Actually, James' plan was to wed one of his sons to
and this is not King James, as we know.
A Habsburg Spanish Catholic empress to balance it out. And he was appalled when when Frederick the Elector began to move on this alchemical revolution. Well, then, when Rudolph of Bohemia, the guy who bought the Voynich manuscript, when he died, there was actually a set of German princes who by election would choose his successor, and they chose Frederick and his queen Elizabeth, the daughter of James, and they moved from Heidelberg to Prague and ruled in the winter of 1619 and 20. But by May of 1620, the Habsburgs had mounted an army, and they laid siege to Prague, and Frederick was killed. She fled. It was actually an amazing moment in European history. Michael Meyer, who was one of the great alchemists of that period, died in the streets of Prague in that siege, and one of the young French soldiers in this Habsburg army was the 18-year-old René Descartes, off soldiering and sowing his wild oats. This is the period out of which this manuscript emerges, a period when secret societies were rife across Europe, when John Dee was spying for the throne of England and at the same time pursuing his own peculiar interests in angel communication and astrology and Kabbalah and all these things. And the Voynich manuscript is indicative of this paradoxical state of mind and of the really peculiar and now nearly incomprehensible sort of worldview that these people had. And it would be very interesting to know what it says. I mean, it looks very promising. After all, John Dee was definitely the preeminent intellect of his time, and the fact that he may have faked this to pay the bills, I would bet that even at that there is sense embedded in it somewhere. But the key is Dee, and the lines of research which study of his life would suggest, the Welch angle, the diary codes, all this.
Are you pursuing it?
I'm advising a group of people in Santa Cruz, computer people and just interested people, and my voice is one of several. But definitely it's one of the great oddities of human thought, and not much heard of because it simply is an elegant enigma.
Wow. An elegant enigma. And there's a group in Santa Cruz right now working on cracking your code of your priest king. Again, he's going to try to keep making, this could be a fake this, and it's coming out of this 16th century stuff. And again, we understand that, other researchers say differently. Other researchers are putting this in the 12th century. This Tartar Rus, Egyptian Hebrew, language that they're calling pentextual. You know what I'm saying? This is not some, coming out of nowhere situation. You know what I'm saying? So we know that there's babies. Now I want to get into some drop. That the fam, let me get it right. Oh, Paco. Yeah, Paco hit us with this drop, man. So let's get into the first one first. Let's see where it's at. Yeah, the Solomon Seals plant. Let's just jump right into it and get some babies.
Hey everyone, it's Crystal Ravenrose. Welcome to my witchy side. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Solomon Seal, some information as well as some medicinal uses and some of the magical uses.
Nah.
What you're looking at, I have my scissors and everything over here. What you're looking at is the actual root from my plant.
Now again, this book has all these plants in it, and they're saying it's native, to America. That these plants are being brought to Europe, right? So by Columbus later. So let's go.
If you go on my channel, Crystal Ravenrose, I do show my entire plant or all the pieces of my plant in my garden, and I kind of show you what it looks like. This here is just a piece with the root, as you see, and I'll give you a better look-see. I have it in some rainwater to keep it fresh for right now. And also, if you have me on Facebook or Instagram, I posted a couple pictures of Solomon Seal with the root attached, and I also posted some information about this particular plant. So there's other names for this. It's just most commonly called Solomon's seal, sometimes King Solomon, Small Solomon, Lady Seal, Mary, St. Mary's, True Solomon seal, and there's also a fake, or not fake, but false Solomon seal. Sometimes it's seal root or seal wort. So it's a woodland perennial, and it's got native varieties in North America, Asia, and Europe, and it can grow to about 2 feet
Native varieties in North America. You heard it right.
tall, and it does spread. I've noticed in my garden. The greater Solomon seal is much larger than the true Solomon seal, but they have the identical properties. I know the false Solomon seal has berries on it, and those are typically found out like near California, where the regular real Solomon seal is mostly like towards the east side of the our country in U.S.
Whoa.
Solomon seal has berries on it, and those are typically found out like near California, where the regular real Solomon seal.
California strikes again. Califia strikes again. Let's go.
Was mostly.
Wait. Solomon seal is found mostly in Cali. So you heard, we connecting the Solomon and the Sheba with the Queen Califia, Queen California, and this Queen California has the most abundant Solomon seal. Come on, man. Hold on,
like
one more
towards the
time.
east side of the country.
One more time.
So it's a woodland perennial, and it's got native varieties in North America, Asia, and Europe, and it can grow to about 2 feet tall, and it does spread. I've noticed in my garden.
Just right quick. North America, Asia, and Europe. So that's Asia. Europe is Asia. So North America and Asia. Those are our lands. That's where we are from. Let's go.
The greater Solomon seal is much larger than the true Solomon seal, but they have the identical properties. I know the false Solomon seal has berries on it, and those are typically found out like near California, where the regular real Solomon seal is mostly like towards the east side of our country in U.S. But anyway, it gets the...
Okay, got you. So she's saying that the false Solomon seal is mostly in California. So we got to see how they're mixing and matching. And the other one's on the East Coast. So either way, we're in America. But either way, this California seems to play. And I want to look into what they're calling the false Solomon seal. Maybe that's the real Solomon seal. We got to look into it. We're just getting this shit for the first time. So, we know how they say left is right and right is left. So is the false Solomon seal, what they're calling that, mostly these berries in California, is that the real thing? And is what they're calling the real thing in the East? You know what I mean? So let's dig on it, man. Let's keep going. Very interesting drop.
Folk name sows teats, and the flowers are small, white to pale yellowish green, and tubular, and occur in a drooping cluster. Now, my plant is particularly white variety. Now, unfortunately, I did have the white blooms. They just hang and droop. Right where you see these little pieces here, that's where the flowers were. And it goes all the way down on the underside of the plant. So it's going to stick in the ground this way. And then as you see, it's really, really long. It's got several pieces like this. Okay, and unfortunately I don't have any blooms right now. That it already happened in the late spring. The root, let's see. I wrote some notes here so I didn't forget anything. The history and folklore, it's actually named for King Solomon of Hebrew lore, who was granted great wisdom by the Hebrew God and had a special seal that aided him in his magical workings, allowing him to command demons without coming to harm.
Now notice how they say Hebrew God. She couldn't just say God, right? Because she knows her God, this Christian God, is a different God. The New Testament God is different than the so-called Old Testament God. Those are two different vibrations. They said they took away your ancient love song. Samuel Sewall in The Selling of Joseph, look it up, says they took away your ancient love song and gave you a most excellent new tune. This new frequency they gave you is their new God, the new test, their new covenant with their new hijacked Christ. And your old Messiah is no more. Your old laws are no more. Your drop is gone, right? So you have an ancient love song. We are falling in love again.
According to herbal lore, King Solomon himself placed his seal upon this plant when he recognized its great value.
Wow.
This herb gets its name from the fact that when the plant dies back in the fall and the stalk falls from the root, the scar left behind is shaped like a Star of David, also known as a Seal of Solomon. It is said that King Solomon, renowned not only for being wise but for sorcery, but his seal on this plant the seal is on the plant to indicate its worth. And so this magical herb can be helpful for making difficult decisions and to increase wisdom. You can carry it as a protective amulet, and you can use an exorcism. You can place it on your altar. I have some dried pieces on my altar, and it helps ensure the success of your workings. And if you burn it when consecrating your tools, you can do that, with Solomon's seal. They also state that an infusion of the roots is sprinkled about to turn away evil. And the root has also been used as a means of calling the elementals, and it's associated with the fall equinox, and it's identified with Saturn. Okay, so a little bit of the medicinal now.
It's identified with Saturn. Moving on. Right. So it's crazy, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? How they take our energy and they hijack it and turn it into something satanic. She said the Hebrew God. And then now this thing's identified with Satan. So they flip everything. They take the energy, they build a pyramid on your tree, and they say, look, it's identified with pyramids. So whatever they, crystals are crystals. You can put intentions on them. So whatever intentions they're putting on the vibration of this herb, or how they are relating it to any hijack, is the intention that they're putting on it, hijacking the frequency, hijacking the energy. We know that Solomon got nothing to do with Saturn. Solomon is a seed. Solomon is an energy of what's above the barrier, not the below. But what's above has power over that which is below. So his seal was giving him order over lower vibrations. He had them in check. He had the lower celestial vibrations in check. And that is his seal. That's the energy that you have. That's the energy that we're gaining and getting back. Let's get a couple more minutes.
Looking at the root itself, it looks like a bone, don't it? It looks like knuckles. And that's a telltale sign, or one of the telltale signs, this is good for joints, it's good for bones, it's good for pain, and it also is very helpful in the way comfrey's helpful for sores, cuts, and our skin. And they use this Solomon seal as a tonic for joints and bones. They call it a yin tonic. It's real sweet tasting, and it's really soothing. So any of the roots that are slimy and sweet like this, they say that when the roots like this are moist or slimy, that they put them in yin tonics. Okay, and of course, please contact your physician and do all the research you can before ingesting this herb or applying it on your body as a salve or any kind of tincture workings, okay? It's extremely important. So it almost looks like a vertebrae or bones. So that's, like I said, it's helpful for our bones, for its medicinal uses. Now, Solomon's seal is in the lily family. Okay, and it's very, very close relative is a lily of the valley. Now, I do have a lily of the valley, but it's another part of the yard here, and it's just not flowering. I never had the best of luck growing lily of the valley, but I had excellent luck with the Solomon seal. It comes back every year. It is a perennial. The lily of the valley and the Solomon seal that you're looking at, it contains, I think it's convenarium or convalarium. It's known for our heart function. I think it's like a digitalis or whatever. It's also, this plant's also helpful for the lungs. Okay, so it's good for wounds, joints, bones, and it also has a cooling property to it, similar to how comfrey helps us. So I'm going to pull some notes real quickly on the magical properties. Now, I already said a few of them, but it is a feminine plant, and it's of Saturn, and it's for the element of water.
That's the hijack.
Okay? And it's also known for exorcism and protection. This is a wonderful, plant to put on your altar or, whatever it is that you're doing as far as you're working. And
They're utilizing your energy for their benefit, and you know nothing about it, and they apply it to their gods and their Satan and their Saturn. So what happens when you apply it to the Creator, to that order that the Creator has bestowed upon us and has dropped it in what they're calling sorcery, because that's how they spin it, out of control.
And
Chaos.
they say that the root can be placed in the 4 quarters of your house to guard it, and it's used in protection spells, exorcism spells of all kinds, and as an infusion.
So like spells. So they take it and they use this stuff in their spells. All right, your energy in their spells. All right, but what's the drop? I mean, can you put it in your four corners of your house? Will it give you good energy? Sure, but I don't know. I don't see why not. Why can't it form a good, positive grid around you and your house? But, how they use it in their spells is a whole other can of worms.
Make this as an infusion. You can sprinkle it about your home or area to clear it of evil or negativity. And let's see. I have some dried here. Let me move this so I don't get it messy. Of course, this is the leaf of my particular plant. And it's all smashed in there. As you can see, there's just some of the root dried, little pieces of it. And then more of what you're seeing here, I've got the dried pieces like this. And this is another container of just all those dried pieces. And it's nice if you can get a hold of the whole root. Now, I do know in the Midwest, I was in Michigan a couple of months back, and in their woodland park, they had Solomon's seal. So you could probably find it out in the wild and forage it, and then, of course, leave an offering. Okay, I'm running out of time. I hope you enjoyed this video on Solomon's seal. Again, this is Crystal Ravenrose here at My Witchy Side. Thank you so much.
All right, man. So she's a little, witchy, whatever she do, but we just getting the drop out of all these babies. So, all right, some babies out this drop, some drop out these babies, man. All right, so she got her thing. All right, so love to the family Paco. He also hit us with this great link here, man, that I'll leave for y'all. This is about the plants. You can get more information on the Solomon seal, medicinal herb that has diverse health restorative properties. It can restore you, right? We're talking about being restored. It can be used as an herbal tincture, salve, tea, or supplement. As an alternative remedy, it may offer relief, healing, or mending to sport injuries or other conditions related to tendons, joints, ligaments, bones, bruises, connective tissues, cartilage. So a lot of us got these ligament and joints, all right? So we got to get up on our Solomon seal. It also soothes and repairs gastrointestinal inflammation and injuries. It is effective for feminine uses such as menstrual cramps, PMS, bleeding, and the like. Additionally, it is known to lower blood pressure and relieve dry cough. So look what the Creator has put for us. Solomon seal has a rich history that goes back many thousands of years. Herbalists and healers both in Europe and North America, and the Far East, the Orient. All that is yours in Asia and America. All right. Far East have written about its diverse effects on numerous conditions. In 2010, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Natural Resources, Conservation Services identified Solomon seal as the culturally significant plant, noting its medicinal and restorative values among North American tribal original nation people. Golly, they just talking about Negroes. They just talking about you, noting its medicinal and restorative value among North American tribal original nation of people. Drop nation. It will restore you. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, Natural Resources, Conservation Services identify Solomon seal as a culturally significant plant. So it's identifiable to your culture, the Hebrews in North America, the tribes in North America. It is our understanding that the National Issues of Health is presently researching the benefits of Solomon seals for heart health. So you have all these beautiful plants. I'll leave the link. You can check this out. The brother Chris Duncan hit us with this link about the black seeds. 101 black seed oil benefits to consider while undergoing life's wear and tear. This one says, when ancient Egyptian kings, European queens, religious prophets, so Hebrews, all right, Hebrews and modern science come together on an issue it's probably worth hearing about. All right, so let's get into some, you may know these black seeds from a variety of names: the Kolonji oil, black cumin seed oil, Negeles seeds, all these names. All right, Schwartz is black. Where's black seed oil come from? Black seed oil is simply an extracted oil substance produced by squeezing and compression of black seeds. There are countless of home appliances that will let you produce your own oil, or you can buy some on Amazon. What are black seeds? The tiny black thick shaped cumin seed is most commonly referred to as black seeds or black cumin seeds. They are lightly curved with a rough distinct texture that makes them unique and easy to identify. These ingredients of black seeds oil enable it to act as a multi-purpose natural remedy for just about anything and everything. Take a look at some of its properties. So this is another of those super herbs, all right? So you got the Solomon seal super herb. You got, the black seed. You could do your oils, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antifungal, anti-cancer, anti-asthmatic, antihistamine, antiviral, anti-coagulant. All right, just to name a few, the two most potent chemicals it contains that cause it to be such an effective remedy is thymoquinone, however you say that, and thymohydroquinone. These are two of the main responsible compounds that you can credit the wonderful healing effects to. The Creator gave all this to you. Black seeds, Solomon seal. And we're just talking about Prester John. We're just talking about the Voynich manuscript, man. We're just talking about the Voynich manuscript that you can get anytime out the library, man. Anytime you come over here to the drop. Anytime you go to the library. Into that drop library here. You're going to get welcome to Swag Frequency by the family and only by the family.
Welcome to Swag Frequency.
432 the drop. 432 the drop.
Get all this great drop for you, all these books, all these free PDFs to download. All these free PDFs to download. Alright. And you go to that Voynich manuscript right here and just look at it, meditate on it, put on the, you know what I'm saying? Get your Solomon seal, light that frankincense and myrrh. Shout out to my man Arthur Scott. You know what I'm saying? You get in here and you get wavy. You get in here and you get wavy, man. And you meditate on this Voynich manuscript and these plants that were left for you to decipher. They call this language pentextual. They call it Hebreo, Georgian, Otessian, pentextual, Voynich. They say it's indecipherable by the best code breakers at Yale and everywhere in between. Even in Santa Cruz right now, they're working on you. They want to get to this before you. This is a race, people. You have to get to the drop before they do. And something telling me that all the keys go through the Voynich manuscript. All the drop goes through the manuscript of our King David. Of our King David. Prester John. And maybe if we had a little second, what I wanted to do while we got you here, all in one place, is just say love to my man Francisco right quick and take this dismount with him. Go ahead and dig on it, man. When we talk about surfing the wave, there's only one way to do it. I love y'all. Stay up. Suit up. Choose up. Francisco, take it away.
Well, let's build and provide information and preparing for the journey. Everybody, hi, Mark, Arthur, Junior, Fire. And I just want to showcase what we love and hold dear to our heart in Hawaii, which is what we call the koa tree.
Yeah.
And the koa tree is an acacia tree, and it's a rare acacia tree that is only in Hawaii. The other ones are strains. The funny thing about Hawaii, a lot of the plants are like first strains, and they strength, but I'm gonna show you this right here. So you see that right there? You see like the burning bush? See all these trees up on this mountain? This is core wood, acacia trees, and before they used to be like, the trunks used to be big as houses, and we used to make our buildings with rock stones and that tree trunk and the sand, and now you don't see them too big. There's not many that are too big, but we're starting to replant them now in the forest, on the top of the forest, so that they can become big and we can use them once more for navigating if the time comes. That's why a few years ago, or 20, 30 years ago, they started a mass program on teaching the kids of Hawaii at UH and through high schools how to navigate using the stars. So yeah, this is the acacia tree, and us over here, we use it for firewood, and it's like the best firewood for barbecuing. I mean, your food will taste so good. But another thing is it has sap, and that sap is used for many various medicinal properties or usages, and also the leaves, also the beans that it has, and the flower all have medicinal properties and purposes.
More plants.
So we wanted to show you guys this tree. It's all over